Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Keaton back again today with another installment of my new Ask Reddit series. And so, yeah, let's get right into the questions. The first question today actually comes from one of my viewers from the first video, Plenty of Cats. She asks, was there ever a time when someone did something that in your eyes was messed up that made you question if you were dreaming or imagining things? Sorry for my poor choice of words. I'm slightly sleep deprived. That's a good question. Thank you for the question. So, immediately when I read this question, it made me think of a couple of different relationships in my past, and I actually wrote out in my notes app a little response to this that I want to sort of use as a drawing board, but as I craft my response. So the first thing I said is, as much as we might try to understand why people do the things that they do, we can never really fully understand all the reasons behind somebody's actions. There's there's so many million unspoken reasons why people do the things that they do. Even if you ask them and they tell you, this is why I did this, and it's not always the full picture. So it's really hard to try and understand, like, why did this person do this thing, especially if it's something that like hurts us or we don't agree with. So for example, there was this one relationship I had with this girl back in the day who she was like super hot and cold with me. Like one day she seemed like she was just super into me, and then the next day it felt like I meant nothing to her, and so, like, to answer your question, yeah, it was super confusing. I felt like I was imagining things, like I was going crazy, and I didn't understand like why she could be giving me so many mixed signals. Years later, she told me actually how sorry she was for giving me all those mixed signals, and she explained to me that whenever she thought like we were just getting too close or too intimate, she would withdraw from the relationship because she just felt like we were getting too close, and she was pretty scarred from one of her previous relationships where a guy was actually like cheated on her with their best friend. So yeah. Years later, I found out that it's taken a long time to kind of like realize this, but I've started to learn that the way that people treat us is really more of a reflection of how they feel about themselves than how they feel about us. So, if somebody does something to slight you, don't take it so personally, because most of the time, it really has nothing to do with anything you did. And yeah, like for example, like I'm sure you've probably met people, like strangers who like did something rude to you, and you were just like, man, why, what did I do to that stranger? Like, why were they rude to me? But I mean, in that case, it's really easy to see that like it really had nothing to do with you. It was more just that they were having a bad day, perhaps, and that's why. But yeah, the same thing applies to like relationships with people in your life that you've known a long time. Like if they do something that kind of confuses you or makes you feel like you're going crazy, like there's probably a lot of underlying reasons that have nothing to do with you. Yeah, so my best advice to you, Kat, is just remember that you're only going to hurt yourself by trying to think of every possible like reason behind why somebody did something, because you can never like really know. And the best thing you can do is to just be honest with them and ask them and communicate, because if you try and figure it out yourself, you're going to just drive yourself crazy. Like, take it from me. And if communicating to that person doesn't help resolve the situation, then I think the best thing you can do is to probably just walk away from that person. That they might just not be the person for you. So yeah, I hope that helps. And if you see this video and have any more questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comments. And yeah, thanks for your question. So let's move on now to question number 2. Let's see. Question number 2. Well, alright, so Hopeful Lead asks, what's a simple skill everyone should master but many don't? And this one was one of the few that I had an easy time answering. I think a simple skill everybody should master is cooking, because think about it, guys. We have to eat, 3 meals every single day. And eating out at a restaurant is like, just in my opinion, is kind of a big waste of money. It's so much more expensive to go to a restaurant than it is to just buy your own meal. And who doesn't love to eat a good tasting meal? Who doesn't love to be healthy and know how to portion things? So yeah, that would 100% be the biggest thing. Is it's very simple, like, and I guess it's not a simple skill, there's so many things involved in cooking, but it's something that if you get a little bit better at every single day, like, you can end up just eating better and saving money. And yeah, I know, like, when I was in college, like, I knew some people who would just eat out for like every single meal, like they just did not know how to take care of themselves and cook. And so yeah, that would be my answer for that one. Okay, moving on. Question number 3. Let's see. Diorite Lover asks, what is likely to die along with the baby boomers generation? So I think that what's going to change going forward is people are not going to move out of their parents' house at 18. Like, back in the baby boomer generation, you turned 18 and you were like off, you were out getting a job and you were moving out. And I think in today's economy, with just the way the world is moving and how expensive it is to buy a house these days, and also just kind of the shifting culture amongst the younger generation, I think probably we'll see people living with their parents for a lot longer, like maybe till 20, 22, 25, like whatever that may be. I think it's gonna continue to, like, that goalpost is gonna continue to shift to like an older age. So yeah, let's see. Question number 4. This is gonna be a tough one, but Metal Tunage asks, what is the most embarrassing thing you've ever done? Okay, so this is gonna be a fun story, but you guys, I'm curious if you guys want to comment, like, if you guys think that this is actually really embarrassing and you cringe to hearing me tell this story, or if it's like not so bad. But for me, this is, I think, the most embarrassing thing ever. So I was like out on a hike one time with a couple of friends, and I wanted to like take a picture of something, like it was like a sunset or something, and I wanted to post it on my on a private Snapchat story so that only certain people could see it. And I had never actually made a private Snapchat story. And anyways, I ended up accidentally creating a group chat with like 50 people. It was so terrible. And then like immediately I got a text from one of my friends who said, like, yo, what is this group chat? Like, why did you just make a group chat with like all like dozens of people and I don't even know like 90% of them? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so stupid. And so I texted him back and I said, like, oh yeah, it was just an accident. And then I screenshotted that and then put it into the chat and like asked, like, everyone, can you just leave the chat? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. And then the worst thing is that I left the chat immediately after I did that. And so for like so many years later, like, I just will sometimes just wonder, like, oh gosh, I wonder if everyone in that chat just stayed in there and started talking about me. Like, it's the worst thing. But yeah, that was just so embarrassing. Like, I wanted to just crawl out of my skin, and talking about it is just horrible. So yeah, if you guys think that that's like actually just like so embarrassing, let me know. But actually don't say anything. But if you think that that was like not that bad of a mistake, then I guess let me know so I might possibly feel better about it. But yeah, okay, moving on to question number 5. We have what's the word? Oh yeah, it comes from Grapefruit Box. Yes, what's the worst part about being jobless? Obviously, finances is a pretty important thing. Fortunately, I'm in a position in my life where I have a lot of support from my parents, and so if I didn't have that, then the worst part would probably be like homelessness. Homelessness is like the obvious answer, but for me, because I got my degree in electrical engineering and I've been applying mostly for engineering jobs. I would say for me, the worst part has been just constant rejection. And I can't tell you, like, every single day I read an email from some company saying, oh, you know, we considered your application, but we don't think you're qualified, and we're moving forward with another candidate. And it's just like, reading that every single day is just so demoralizing. And yeah, I think over time you read that enough and you start to like internalize these like feelings of worthlessness, and it makes you kind of like hopeless that you'll ever find that one right job for you. So yeah, it's tough for sure. But yeah, let's move on now to the final question of this video. It comes from RareCan5418. Says, what difficult truths, the sooner you accept them, the better your life will be? So I actually thought of two answers to this one. The first being, you can't control what other people do. So, you know, you really just have to like not worry about it, and that's an impossible task, but you'll find out. You'll learn it eventually. Like, you can only control what you do. Like, there's a popular expression that says, you know, you can't control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond to it. It kind of goes like hand in hand with the saying of like, you got to get back up on the horse. Like, you know, life puts you down. You just got to push through it. And yeah, as much as we might want to control what other people do, at the end of the day, we really just have no control over it. And so we shouldn't try to like torture ourselves, wondering like, oh, what if they did this differently? Or like, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. And yeah, that kind of leads to my second answer to this question, which is that nothing is permanent. And that goes for seriously everything in life. Like, you know, your parents aren't permanent, your job's not permanent, your relationships aren't permanent, your youth isn't permanent. Like, literally everything is going to come to an end. It's a very sad fact. Don't want to end on such a depressing note, but if you look at it kind of in like an alternative sense, it can also like lead you to live your life a little bit more like with where you don't really like take things for granted, you know? Like, if you just realize like, oh, this time I'm in right now, like, let's say you're in college, for example, try to enjoy yourself a little bit. Like, I'm not saying you need to go out and, you know, get drunk and do all these like things that are stupid, but, you know, if you're studying 10 hours a day and you're not enjoying a social life, like, change that, because college, you know, just like everything in life, college is not going to last forever, and you want to try and enjoy those times while you can. So yeah, that'd be my best advice. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's all from me today, you guys. And like always, if you guys want to see, or if you want me to answer any of your guys' questions in the next video, I'll probably upload another one next week. I think I'll make this like a weekly series, probably on Mondays or something. So yeah, go ahead, comment down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to show your support by dropping a like, please go ahead and do that. And if you want to see more videos from me in the future, go ahead and subscribe. We're almost on 250 subscribers, so that'd be awesome. And yeah, all your support really motivates me to keep making these videos. So just want to thank you guys once again, and I hope you all have an excellent day, an excellent week. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Back with another one, now I'm 11. Fuck it, who's counting? Money is a mountain. I'm trying to pay a Miller House, Mr. Van Houten. I'm talking ballin', sobbing. How could they doubt this fire? Robbing me of everything that I deserve. I'm a chef, I'm a serve, cause I make them eat their words. Split it up in thirds, now Henderson, I plan to take it all. Put my dreams on hold, now I plan to take the call. Know that I'm what the game was missing. When it gets the grain, so I know you feel the friction. Took the dark days, made them bright lights. Die for this shit, so I live for the nights. Head up in the clouds till I'm sitting on the flights. Everything is all good, everything is alright. Got me feeling like the greatest, yeah. And I know that I ain't dead, and they probably gon' hate this, yeah. But you should know that I don't care, no, I don't care.